Oh, you're not in a good place? Between my mother and him?
I told you not to invest. You took my money anyway.
Who got some money?
Hell no.
Hey, Vanilla. You hear it? Kitty really growled for you. Miss Gladys had an insurance policy? $25,000.
The money is mine.
Jeremiah, you are hot. Look, I don't like this. No.
The money.
Fatima, what did you do to her?
I didn't do nothing.
If a man hit my girl, nobody tell me, bro, we got a problem.
Zach's gonna find out. Look at your head.
I'm gonna ask you this one time. Did my brother hit you?
You know he has a problem.
I don't care. He's gonna have a bigger problem when I get my hands on him.
Zac has a record. And if he does something stupid, he could go to jail for life.
Where's Jeremiah?
If this is the way you want to live, then do it without me. Zac, I mean it. It's this or us.
Hi, I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm doing so well. First of all, I love your background and your outfit. Like I see a plant in the it matches.
Thank you.
Was that on purpose?
Definitely had a wardrobe malfunction. I was going to be wearing red today, but you know, everything happens the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I definitely want to jump in and first of all ask you about your journey to the performing arts. I know you're a first generation child raised in Atlanta. You had this passion for musical theater. I'd love for you to take me into some moments in your youth where you realized, okay, this is exactly what I want to do and I want to pursue this professionally.
Ooh. Well, when I got really introduced to musical theater, it was kind of by accident. My chorus teacher, he just kind of pulled me in. He was like, I want you to do a musical. I was like, a musical? I didn't even really know, even though I had been in musicals in church and things like that, I for some reason there was a disconnect. It didn't really seem like the same thing to me. So I was kind of hesitant, but then I experienced it. I was a part of Seussical the Musical. That was the first musical that I did with the school. And I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. And where has it been my entire life? And after that, I continued and I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change, and so many other musicals in school. And then outside of school, was a part of the Porter Sanford Theater in Decatur. We did a bunch of different plays that always sold out. And to this day are still selling out. Incredible shows with Step Stewart. But I pursued it in college. It changed my major to it secretly. Didn't tell my mom because she would have flipped. But it was something that I was so passionate about that it was like, I have to pursue this. And, although at the time she was very upset, I think now she understands. She's she's cool with it now.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've acquired so much success. I mean, I'm hoping that she's definitely, singing your praises to friends and family. And I know that you've worked specifically with BET, like you were on All the Queen's Men, and now you're on Zatima, and you kind of been able to bounce around different shows. I'd love to know from that first experience of working on All the Queen's Men, how you kind of were able to transfer that set experience to Zatima.
I've been in the industry for 10 plus years, but it was really difficult to break into the front line, like the TV shows. I did a pilot with BET that was not released, where it was me, Raven Goodwin, and Janae, and it was called Curves. It was phenomenal, and I was sure it was going to be the next BET hit. And then now it's on BET.com, where they never really officially dropped it, and it breaks my heart every time. However, I think the experience of that, being a lead on that show, getting the experience of working with that team was so essential to my development in general, so that when I came on the set of All the Queen's Men and had one episode, I came in and gave it my all. And not only that, but pushed it after, where I believe it was one of the most viewed episodes of All the Queen's Men. And it got so much success from that I had features in different magazines and all the things. I really milked it as much as I could. And I think the attention from that and the notice from that, and just the way that I was ready to do the part once it came, caught the attention of Tyler. And I think that's why I was a front runner for the role of Angela on Zatima. So to go from one episode of All the Queen's Men to being a series regular on Zatima was like amazing. You know, it's the stuff dreams are made out of. And then because Zatima is a spinoff of Sisters, I was written into Sisters. So when it rains, it pours, and I just got blessed from every direction. And I think just being ready, being willing, doing things scared, and putting my all into it, no matter what the case was. I think that's what opened the doors for so many things to come out of the one opportunity. It snowballed into 5. So I'm really grateful.
Yeah, well, I love hearing that trajectory because for a lot of actors, it is very difficult. And you said 10 plus years, it's a lot. And so to even be able to say right now in 2024, you're on a really popular show on BET is an accomplishment in and of itself. Speaking of Zina, I'd love for you to tell me more about, first of all, Angela and stepping into Angela and being able to share more about her evolution as the series comes back. I'd love to hear more about that.
Angela's so much fun, especially now that I know that I can play with her. I think the first few seasons, you see Angela be a little bit more timid. I think I was still figuring out her voice. But then I think Tyler gave us permission to really play, to really bring our own personalities into the characters and have fun. And while I won't say that Angela's all the way my personality, because we definitely differ in a lot of different ways, some of the zingers, some of the reactions, the reaction to the Kanekalon getting thrown in my face and things like that are definitely true Nzinga things that I brought to the character. So it's always fun to bring yourself into it and really get to play and to have the freedom to change a few lines or change some expressions or just react to your castmate very genuinely how you think you would. So I love working with these people.
With shows that have like big ensembles, a lot of characters, what is kind of the vibe on set? How do you guys kind of get along? And you know, it's long days on set too, so I'm sure there's a lot that you guys have to talk about to kind of get through the day. What's it like in that capacity on set?
I have a phenomenal cast, but not only that, we're working in very short periods of time. We don't take long to shoot those seasons. You know, we're never really shooting for more than 2 weeks. So you can imagine the intensity of shooting that much in such a short amount of time. You're on and you're constantly on. But then we still have great, like, we support each other so much and we run lines. Even after shooting a full day, we'll all meet up and run lines together for the scenes that we have that are group scenes and stuff like that, because we know we have this little bit amount of time to create this magical thing that's going to last for much longer than this time we have here. So we put our all into it. We work great together. I mean, it's really all love. It's so much positivity. Bryce is hilarious. The guy who plays Bryce is Remington Hoffman, and he's so much fun. So going into those scenes, especially when I have to be meaner to him, it's so difficult because he's just the sweetest person in the world. And then when I really like laid into him, he'll be like, "Are you all right? Like, that was fantastic." He's just, there's so much encouragement in the cast. I love working with my castmates, truly. It's a blessing.
I hate getting into spoilers, but I do want to get a little bit into this upcoming season and see how Angela fits in and how she kind of is navigating, you know, again, seeing this relationship and being how did it feel to kind of receive the script, digest, form it, and then kind of leave it for this upcoming season?
It's always interesting because you have to find the reasons behind what your character is choosing to do. And I think in this season, she's very different than what she was in previous seasons. First season, you see her be super lovey-dovey. She's all in, is so in love with Bryce. And then you see a switch happen once she gets the shocking news that not only is he bisexual, but he actually made a pass at her best friend's boyfriend. So now she's publicly dealing with the embarrassment of her boyfriend stepping out on her, but then stepping out on her in this way. So her trying to navigate those feelings, but save face, I think also because, you know, Fatima and Zac knew even before she did. So I think for her, being the person who knows everything, it was very difficult. And you see her kind of fight back by now turning off emotions and getting what she wants and not being as soft, completely closing off that soft part of her heart so that she can stay face and seem strong and also get what she wants out of the deals. Like, these new guys coming around, I don't want to talk about your feelings. I don't want to talk about your emotions. You're here for one reason. And I think she plays with that a lot, but we'll also see a shift because at the core of who Angela is, that's not who she is. She is a romantic. She is a lover. So this facade that she's putting on, this tough exterior, this I don't care about emotions exterior, is not something that can sustain because it's not who she is. So you'll start to see the crack in her armor through this season and see how she's dealing with those true feelings under this facade while still maintaining, being a boss and not letting anything get to her.
You are one yourself. I mean, look, I know you do a lot of stuff outside of acting, whether it be brand partnerships, modeling, or even just being a force in terms of being a body positivity advocate. I was looking at your TikTok and I saw that like there was a comment and you just immediately hit back, and I was like, you know what, I'm so excited to interview her, but that was just amazing. And just being so forthcoming on social media, having a large following, like how do you navigate that? And also does that kind of play into as well, like with your acting too? Is that something that you kind of see merging, or do you try to keep things separate?
I don't think there's any way to keep it separate. That's what I'm learning. But before acting really took off, it was a big part of my life and a big part of my income and everything. So I really appreciate the freedom that comes with being an influencer, along with the voice, because I realized the influence and power behind it as well. Being able to reach out to my audience and feel supported and hear their input and get real reactions, because that's another thing. Like, we kiki like we're friends. They don't have a problem telling me something and I don't have a problem hitting back. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the freedom that I have when it comes to social media that has also had to change a little bit now that I have new attention on me from the shows and, networks and stuff like that. So like now I have to remember, in the words of my castmate, Crystal Renee, keep it positive, sweetie. Because when people talk crazy, especially to other plus size women, I'm fierce when it comes to defending my people. So I sometimes have to gather myself and remember, like, eyes are on me. And as much as I want to defend this person, how it may come across, how it, how words can be twisted and used against you, and all those things are definitely front of mind. So it's changed my relationship with social media a bit, which is probably also why people don't see as many posts from me now, because I used to just kind of do what I wanted to, and now I feel like I have to, I still am that person and I still have those feelings, but now I have to put a little bit more thought behind how these things will age and how they'll look out of context, because people will take one little thing you say, break it off from the whole paragraph that you said, and turn it into a headline. So managing that has been interesting, especially because I'm not someone who puts that much thought into like everything I say. I don't want to have to think of all the ways it can be used against me in a way, but at the same time, it's part of the job. It's part of the blessing of having the influence. So
Very like encouraging to see, because everyone comes in all shapes and sizes, and I feel like specifically with social media it's really hard to kind of be yourself. There's so many people who are advocates, but even seeing those people, you have to look within yourself of like, can I do that? Do I feel confident in posting myself? So it was really nice to see that just in general, but the way you sprinkle it within your just regular content, it feels very organic, and I know you're involved in I believe it's the plush strut.
I love the plush strut. Yes.
Yeah.
So the plush strut is the first 5K for plus size people in North America. This will be the 5th year. And it's always such a phenomenal time. We come together, we dance, we do warm-ups, we encourage one another. There are different vendors. But the main thing is the 5K, where you have, however many hundreds of women plus size, and men are welcome too. Let me just say that. We just oftentimes see a lot more plus size women turn out. But they run that 5K, and at the end, we're all there to support, help you along. You know, we're all at the finish line until the end of the race, no matter how long it takes, no matter who's the last person to finish crossing the line. We're there to support you. There are always tears, there's always hugs, love, laughter. And this being the 5th year is going to be the biggest year yet. Like, people come from all over the world. So I'm hoping that this 5th year is going to be even bigger. It's in Atlanta, Chastain Park, and it'll be in May, and registration has already opened. It opened October 1st. So really want people to come out. If you know somebody, if you're plus size, if you're an advocate, whatever the case may be, come out, show your love, show your support, and have a good time and find your community. Community is so important.
It is. And I love that you spoke more about that, because I think it's such a great thing for people to know about. And also, again, it is really just your advocacy as an actress, as well as someone who just, I can tell, cares about these causes. So it's amazing. Like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? I know it sounds like a very loaded question, but I just am so interested to hear what you feel like your next steps are in your career.
Okay, well, aside from Zatima season 10, probably a musical series. That is something that I hold dear, and I'm looking forward to not only being the face of or the lead in, but also, you know, taking a role behind the scenes, whether that's directing an episode or co-writing or whatever the case may be. I think that the world needs to see that. And a lot of people don't even really know that I sing. So to come out the gate with a musical where we can play with all different genres, all different, and just really play with music videos and everything like that. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Oh, okay. I want to see you do that. Yes, yes.
So you see the vision. So I feel like the world needs it, and I think having a plus size Black female lead, the possibilities are endless. So I would love to play with that.
I would love to see that. You already have one fan, so I'm here.
Thank you. This has been great. I had a lot of fun. So thank you for taking your time to talk with me.